This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feast and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast, where each week we take a deep dive into the good, the bad, and the awesome of wrestling video games. I'm JC. And I'm JF. And today we are breaking down the video game history of Ultimate Warrior. I'm here too. I'm Dylan. We break down all of Warrior's appearances, spanning from WWF superstars all the way through the current 2K games. Please make sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review for this podcast on Apple Pod, Spotify, and follow us on all forms of social media at Game Marks Podcast. And don't forget, you can get the episodes early and ad-free at patreon.com/GameMarksPod.
What's up, Dylan? How you doing?
I was actually pretty good.
Happy to have you.
So you see how well you did that intro? Imagine if you read the notes for our podcast, it would be like that every time.
I don't want to do that. I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy.
He wants to say 3 words and then go, George, talk to the people.
Guys, we're going to follow up with some WWE 2K23 news. We're going to talk about Ultra Pro Wrestling. I don't know what the fuck that is, but we're going to talk about it.
So last week on the podcast, we played...
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast, where each and every week we take a deep dive into the good, the bad.
No, this is game over. We're playing forever. We're not fucking doing the intro. The intro already happened.
That's Johnny Clash, not JC. I'm George Feast, and that's Dylan Postel. You also probably know him as Swoggle. This is the Game Marks podcast. Our social handle is at Game Marks Pod.
I already said that.
And today... No, you didn't. You said at Game Marks Podcast, which is not real. Today, Dylan said, we are doing the video game history of the Ultimate Warrior, breaking down every appearance of that man. And we're going to start off with some follow-up. John, last week we played WWE 2K23. How you feeling? We had an hour-long last man standing match. I told Dylan and Landon about it when we recorded going Postal. It was rough.
It was rough, but it was so much fun. 2K23, I think, will go down as one of my favorite. Like, there's always the games that stand out to you. You know, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, maybe 11, maybe 12, 13. I think 09 stands out, but not for good reasons. And then, like, 14, 16, I think this one goes up there with that.
I'm right there with you, buddy. Let's talk about Ultra Pro Wrestling.
Now, Dylan, you are unfamiliar with Ultra Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
So it is a game coming out, I think, this year that is the spiritual successor. So it's not related to No Mercy and Revenge, though it's being built to be in the same realm. There's been demos. They're signing some ECW wrestlers. Your good buddy Matt Cardona's in it. They had a nice little reveal. And in Q3 of 2024, they're going to put out a demo on Steam where you could play. You're going to be able to play through Monday Night Riot, not Raw. It's going to be Riot, where they did a nice commercial that kind of had the old Raw theme variation behind it. It looked pretty cool. But then other than that, they also announced an Ohio Valley Wrestling promotion DLC, which will include the championship belts, the branding, the Davis Arena, and exclusive music. So there's not actually going to be wrestlers involved in there, but you're going to be able to play within Ohio Valley as an arena and have all the assets to go with it, which is pretty cool. And I'm curious to see if anyone else gets involved there.
I wonder if there are going to be more licensed personalities, and there are other like licensed arenas or anything like that. Announcers, managers, things like that. It's kind of...
It's possible.
Yeah, it's kind of wide open. Could be anything, really.
Yeah, Hyperfocus is doing a really good job marketing this, showing us their progress, putting out all of these hype videos that are so well done. They're beautiful. And making this, it's legit. It looks cool. It looks like it's going to play well. I can't wait to get the demo in hand, and I'm sure they're going to... I think the demo is smart because they could get some feedback from actual fans as well and see what they like, see what they don't like. Let us poke around the interface, and I think it's going to be awesome.
And a demo gives you the ability to kind of test out if there are iconic features or specific features that are going to be directed just at them. It gives you the option to test those out before the game goes live, get feedback on those.
Yeah. But I'm very excited for that. But Dylan, question for you, my friend.
I'm good. I'm just
What are you doing? Picking your ass?
I'm opening this on my computer, the notes.
Oh, okay.
So
Have you played any 2K24 lately?
Yeah. We got into it this week. And we got into it this week, and we've had a blast. We really, really have so far. We do best of 5, and it's always 5 randoms. So you hit the random button 5 times. Whoever loses picks their person first, and the winner picks the match. I saw in the notes, because I do my research, where you guys brought up the broken ambulance match. We haven't had an issue with the ambulance match at all yet.
All right, so I wrote this because I was Cody, and I did the random opponent. It was Kofi. And I was having fun with it, but then we went up to the stage, which I noticed if you go backstage, the animation is super weird to go back and forth. Rather than taking the guy, throwing them, or running, you just kind of look behind your shoulder and the other guy just runs. It's very awkward. But for some reason, Kofi kept getting stuck on that little area below the stage. And even when I'd go to get him, he would just walk back to it and just stand in there. I would toss him back onto the ramp. He'd go back and just stand there. And then there were other times where he would either go in the ring when I was outside the ring or opposite and just stand still. And it was super weird. And it happened multiple times. I don't know if it was just the match I played in. I don't know if there's a patch I need on Xbox. But it was pretty awkward.
They've patched it a couple times since release. I haven't.
Yeah, that was only 2 days ago.
I opened my Steam today, and there was a patch for it. I don't know when it came out, but there was a patch today when I opened. So
yeah, there was one a day or two ago. So don't do this. Don't do this today.
We'll talk about that another day.
It's a Game Boy game. But we are here at the request of you, Dylan. I know you love these video game history of episodes, don't we all? We all love these. They're one of the best things we do. I did my favorite wrestler. George has done one of his favorite wrestlers. But now it's your turn. You have chosen the Ultimate Warrior. You've mentioned him on your podcast many times, and we are going to get into it. Are you guys ready to take the deep dive into the history, the video game history of the Ultimate Warrior?
This is where we deep dive into the best and worst in all of pro wrestling, where we determine if the game gets future endeavored.
Like Dylan. Looking to add the newest wrestling figures to your lineup? There's no better spot to pick up your next figure than the Wrestling Collector Shop.
Started by collectors for collectors around the globe, Wrestling Collector Shop has been serving the fans the latest and greatest in wrestling action figures since 2002. So the next time you're looking for the newest wrestling collectible to add to your collection, make sure to go to WrestlingCollectorShop.com and use code GameMarks to save yourself 10% on your order.
That's 10% off your order with code GameMarks at WrestlingCollectorShop.com. All right, Dylan. We're going to start off here. I want to know, when we talk about these games, I want to know which ones you had, which one you played, and everything.
I'm ready looking at the photos, and I'm blown away by one of them.
Okay, well, we're going to start with WWF Superstars, the arcade game.
I have it in my basement as we speak. I have a secondary cabinet with, with ROM, with a RAM, yeah.
Like a Raspberry Pi?
What?
A Raspberry Pi?
I like Raspberry Pi. What's your favorite pie, Caruso?
Rhubarb.
I had my first rhubarb pie last year, and it was awesome.
It's going to be a long one, George.
But I will say apple pie is
no
number
control
one
over the tangents.
The number one most overrated dessert is apple pie.
I agree. But let's talk about WWF Superstars, Ultimate Warrior here, the white trunks. I think this game had a nice, beautiful feel to it. It's very colorful. And
I've never played this. I've never played this one because it
You
was
haven't?
like predecessor, obviously, to WrestleFest. I didn't realize it only had 6 players, like literally like Mortal Kombat 1, essentially. Would this have been Acclaim as well?
I want to say I'll look it up now. I think it's
No,
LJN,
no.
right?
I was saying, I think it's LJN.
It is Technos Japan with I believe
So yeah, I've never
released
played
by LJN on the Game Boy. That's the other version.
I've seen this. Dylan Postel, big YouTube old wrestling game finisher guy.
Oh, I've looked at some of those just to do research for this.
It's a good thing to, like, you're laying in bed and you just want to go to sleep. You don't want to fuck around on your phone anymore. So you just turn that on the television, or you turn it on your phone. You lay on your side with your mouth guard in, have your humidifier.
Just watch
going.
900 pedigrees.
I don't like those. I don't like those ones. I like, oh, those are like the evolution. I like, hey, Royal Rumble. Let me see everyone's finisher, because some of them are such dog shit. And then WrestleFest, I didn't know you could do finishers in WrestleFest, which we'll talk about very soon, as it says in the notes.
That's right, coming up soon. But I do like Warrior's appearance here. Very colorful, like the Warrior is. And then you have his character select screen. You said there's only 6 wrestlers. That's true. There are a few others that you could play against, but not as. Again, very colorful. But then we go to WrestleMania Challenge for the Nintendo.
This is the first one I know of. This was the game I like, the first wrestling game, obviously, I ever had. And it sucked. It sucked so much. But
It was pretty bad.
I was very happy because the opening graphic was the Ultimate Warrior. And
it looks pretty good, too.
happy. So happy.
But that belt he wears, doesn't it look like the hardcore belt? Because it's all pixely and...
You know, we traditionally don't like 3/4 camera angle.
No, and you know what? To get this image that you're seeing here, I had to play through the game because I couldn't find like an actual graphic of it, and it reminded me of how wonky the controls of this game actually are.
It was awful. It was awful.
Oh, man.
But then again, you look at
But there's only 2
what are you looking at? Yeah.
In all
And it
reality,
doesn't
there's
get
only
much
2
better
buttons.
later either. Like this is just a little very tan orange man in green boots and like a line on his face.
It could be anybody.
But you go from
Vegas,
superstars to that is crazy.
Was
I know
Rick Rude
it's
in
on
this?
an arcade. Is Rick Rude in this? I don't know.
No? Okay.
But then we're going to go to WWF.
Podcaster?
All right. We're going to go to WWF WrestleMania. There are actually 4 versions of this. The Amiga and the Atari ST are very similar. And they
Rick
kind
Rude
of...
is in WrestleMania Challenge.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Didn't know this was the video game history of Rick Rude. WWF WrestleMania for the Amiga and the Atari ST, very similar. Warrior in his purple trunks with pink accents. But then you go to the Amstrad CPC and the Commodore 64.
It's a different game.
Completely
It's
different
a
game.
totally different game.
I have never heard of this game, much less seen it. This is where I freaked out. Is this the only appearance of the Warlord in a game?
I was kind of maybe later on, like when you get to like the 2Ks, they might include him.
Was he ever in
But
2K?
man,
I don't think he
that's
was
a
ever
good
in
question.
2K.
I could look it up right now. But yeah, bringing that up, it was like, wow, what a weird
I've never, like, I saw that. I go, Warlord's never been in a game. This is crazy.
That's it. He's only in WWF WrestleMania.
Rightfully so.
See? Hire me on, boys.
However, he looks great in the game. It looks just like him.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
does the Warrior.
I just watched him and Davey Boy on the treadmill today.
They were on the treadmill or you were? Because one of those is not believable and one of them's not alive. So
Hey, Caruso, go fuck yourself.
So what do you think of this little Warrior biography right here? Is he actually from Parts Unknown with his
Yes.
birthday unknown?
Yeah,
You can't say happy birthday to him?
I don't know when his birthday is.
All right.
But always from Parts Unknown. I like, man, is there anything, character picking screens are like a highlight for me. I go through it all the time. And I think it started for me at Royal Rumble for SNES of like, this is awesome. Like this is
Those are like the page swipes, right?
Yeah.
And if you stay on the pages long enough, you get the the theme music. Yep.
But that
now, what do you prefer? Do you prefer this? Do you prefer like 2K has now, or do you prefer like the Mortal Kombat where everyone's in the squares?
The reason I don't like the squares is it reminds me of like the year where they did the crazy huge roster. Remember that where everyone besides me was in it?
Yeah.
And it was like it was too jumbled. It came off that you couldn't see who you were over, and I did not like that.
It's a good little jab in there, Dylan.
Yeah, I actually like that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I always like those kind of.
I never liked it. I wish 2K would go back to you go over someone, and they always outsource the music now, and someone produces it, which is great. I love that, but man. Going over someone and their music hits was always like a childhood like memory, like a core memory.
You used to use that for the Fig Fed.
Fig Feds, yep. All
yeah,
the time.
Now you get copyright strikes everywhere for everything. So
that makes sense though. Yeah.
But then we go over WWF Superstars. This is the one by LJ, and this is for the Game Boy. Did you play this one? Did you have this?
So this is where I was wrong. I did not play this one. I had Superstars 2. Which had the theme musics. I'd never played this one. Superstars 2 was Undertaker, Sid, I believe Macho was in it. I think Ted DiBiase.
Macho was in it. Jake the Snake, the Mountie.
In Superstars 2? Yeah. Yep.
No worry.
I'd never had this one. But
I think it looks okay. It looks cool.
One of my favorite promo shots of the Warrior. The only reason I don't like it is because it has the stupid cheek paint. Whenever he had the cheek paint was the only time I didn't like the Ultimate Warrior.
Though you're talking about the cover, right?
Yes.
The cover of the game? Yeah. But in the game, his little thing is him. It's actually pretty damn good pixel art for Game Boy.
Pixel art, I was just going to say, for the Game Boy pixel art, it's great.
This is the thing that I think I messaged John about when we first talked about doing this episode. Is it's weird to me that the further on that you get with Warrior appearances in video games, the less accurate it begins to look.
Yeah. I'm looking too ahead, and it's not good.
But it's weird because you look at some of the square character select boxes, and the likeness is spot on. It's literally pixel perfect. But then years later, there's like some weird disconnect where they're using like really weird reference photos and like
some of them. Everyone looks bad except Hogan.
Shocking.
Yeah.
But he probably had his own artist to do it. Yeah, he probably had all his own shit. But then here we go. WrestleFest.
Such a classic game. Again, that's the one that's plugged in all the time in my basement is WrestleFest.
So you have the WrestleFest cabinet also?
The what? It's
WrestleFest arcade cabinet?
It's an app, it's a custom.
Oh, right. You said
just unplug and replug.
So I'm not big on. I've never seen a Hasbro figure. Like I don't have one. That's wrong to say. I haven't seen them. I've never held one. Is this his Hasbro gear also? Kind of looks like it.
Yes, I guess. Yeah,
it's just kind of green, right? Green and pink.
I mean, this is most known gear. I would say is his green gear for sure. This is one of those that I watch. I go back and watch the finishers videos, compilations all the time because again, I had no idea you could do finishers in this game. But man, I love this game. For an arcade game, it is so fun and it's just arcadey, which I love.
It's fun. So, have you played Retromania?
No. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Very similar.
Yes.
But I think I kind of have to say Superstars Warrior looks a little better than WrestleFest Warrior.
Ooh, that's
Is that a hot take? Is that a Dylan hot take?
No, it's just a wrong statement.
But look, did you scroll up and look?
He's in white.
I'm not talking about what he's wearing, color wise. The character model itself looks more like Warrior than this one.
We will agree to disagree, John.
All right. Well, all right.
I think there's a little bit more detail in the Superstars one.
Correct.
I don't think it's necessarily more or less accurate.
But if you watch, but WrestleFest, I feel like everyone was very cartoony and arcadey.
I'll ask your reasons why, and if because it's an arcade game that's cartoony, then
Well, yeah, that's what it fucking is, John. It's an arcade game that's cartoony.
But if you want to talk about good likenesses, here in WWF Super WrestleMania, we have the Renegade.
It's not.
He was not in the Super Nintendo version. Papa Shango was exclusive. That's same as what they did later in WWF Raw, where it was exclusive to certain games. Man, I had no idea of him in this, but he looks awful. It is an awful, awful character model.
It's just there's nothing like
he only wore red face paint. I want to say twice.
There's just not enough detail. Like it just is.
At this point, I think he was on the outs. Also, he's in the blue, I believe, on the box art, and he's red in that.
I don't think they cared back then at all.
Macho too, but I just, man, not good. Not good.
Me and George always have the debate when it gets to these older games and the covers. Like, we are both designers. Like, how did they design this? What version of Photoshop did they, like, was it even Photoshop back then? Did they glue these pictures on cardboard? And
I mean, we talked about earlier, 92 Royal Rumble, that flare photo. It's like, God, that's so bad.
Yeah. But I don't know. Something about, I feel like later on when you get to Raw and Royal Rumble on Genesis, like, they are in the same realm as this game, but they look so much better.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this even when we covered them, is that it's a natural progression, both mechanically, graphically, of everything kind of feels the same and looks the same, but it's just a more polished version of that style. Like if you enjoyed the gameplay mechanics, you're just going to get a better version each time.
Did WWF Raw get Play It Forever or Game Over?
I think we split that. I think you liked it. I hated it. But
yeah.
I don't like any of those
I was
games.
a Rumble.
I'm really bad at them, so that kind of takes me out of it.
Yep.
Yeah. But then I could almost guarantee you have never played European Rampage.
No. Is that the Nasty Boys? It is, right?
It is the Nasty Boys. They are in there. I think it's within kind of the same realm as Super WrestleMania, but I don't know. It was kind of exclusive to
what system was
it was on. I will tell you now.
I think it's the Mega Drive, Saturn.
I believe it was also DOS. It was on Amiga, Atari ST, the Commodore 64, and DOS. We did play this. It was
this game, and I remember like seeing the box art once.
I remember which one I'm thinking of now.
It's a pretty game, but it sucks. It wasn't very.
It looks, you know what? It looks like 92 Royal Rumble. It looks like Royal Rumble, SNES Royal Rumble to me.
Yeah, it's within the same. It was just kind of exclusive to European, but
but now we're moving on to a game that John and I have a love-hate relationship with, mostly hate.
So I feel like WWF In Your House is the predecessor to like the Battlegrounds, is it? And that the arcadey kind of games. I hated it. It was for PlayStation. PlayStation sucks. If you say it's on any level compared to 64, you can kick rocks. David C. Anderson. We just had this argument on Sunday morning, and it's stupid.
That's a bad
John
take.
Bender, my best friend, always had PlayStation.
Horrible take.
64.
It's a bad take, Dylan.
Why am I waiting to play a video game? Why? Why is it?
Why are you waiting? Because you have actual theme songs in Warzone. That's why.
The quality of certain immersive things that you get is amazing.
I'm not watching television. I'm playing a video game, and at that time, I just want to play my game.
So did you play Warzone and Attitude on the N64?
Yeah.
Significantly worse.
You need to try them on the PlayStation.
But now
it's like an entirely different game.
Do you want to go even a step further? Play them on the Dreamcast.
They suck.
Oh yeah,
they're up, down, left, right games, as I call them. They're combo games. Stupid. It's dumb.
Oh yeah, but just like the quality, presentation quality of them on the PlayStation and the Dreamcast, it makes the N64 version look like it's a different game.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild.
going to this, like, I remember this is the one where like Shawn Michaels dropped the bed, right? The Heartbreak Hotel.
Yeah.
Everyone had a big, because that's what, looking at it from Acclaim, who made Mortal Kombat, which is seeing the, it just came up today on my feed again. The guys doing the mocap for it, or the screen capture for it, is wild. Bret Hart in the green singlet, Taker in the red, I believe.
Well, that was for WrestleMania, the arcade game.
WrestleMania arcade game.
The one that came out before this with Midway and Acclaim. This one's just Acclaim, and it is so much worse.
Sorry.
Yeah, the WrestleMania, the arcade game is like top tier on me and Clash's Rushmore of best wrestling video games.
I love that game so much.
It's amazing.
It was so fun. But going to this one, this was kind of down that realm of Mortal Kombat meets WWF, and I hated it. I hated that kind of thing. I obviously never played it because I was a 64 person, like I said. So I never played. I never had a warrior in a game from Super WrestleMania. No, from WrestleMania Challenge till going way forward to Legends of WrestleMania. And that whole thing, I never played as Ultimate Warrior in a video game.
Well, even from European Rampage Tour to In Your House is 92 to 96. That's already a 4-year gap of no Warrior.
I do love seeing this because this is his comeback blue gear, which
it's
like,
pretty
people
nice.
hate that run. That's so iconic to me. Like, I loved it so much when he came back as that. It was, man, I loved it.
And he had his own stage, like arena here, which was, I guess, the Wild West.
What's
I don't
Parts
really.
Unknown?
Parts Unknown is
the desert.
The desert.
Oh, are you? Hold on.
I guess it's unknown, so we wouldn't know.
Correct. What would your setting of Parts Unknown be, John?
Just
the void of space.
Space, yeah, like outer space with like, I don't know, nebulas and stuff.
What?
Nebulas and
is it some
galaxies.
Character? What the fuck is that?
That's Nibbler, but you're close.
Oh, that's
guys.
guy.
We're about to make a big jump here.
Can we talk about this?
In Your House, 1996, the next appearance, Showdown Legends of Wrestling, which comes out in 2004.
This is where I'm confused, and I asked David C, because we talked about doing this episode this weekend with him. This is where I'm confused. How was this okay?
Because it's not a WWE game.
Exactly. So was it like classic Superstar style where no one was under contract, so they just grabbed them? How could they use names, though? How could they use Hulk Hogan?
Hogan owns his name.
All of these guys own their names. Bret Hart.
Or either weren't under contract or Legends deal or anything.
Okay. I was listening to
the roster. The roster is jammed. It is huge.
Oh, yeah.
This is by far the best Legends roster.
Own their names?
Yes.
I find that crazy.
And is this the one that we said that was the best of all of the Legends games?
This is the one I like.
This is the third one. Yeah, this has to be the best one.
This is the one that we were actually like, this is so much better than everyone else.
No, but like they were saying, I think 2 weeks ago on Major Pod, talking about the classic Superstars figures, those Legends contracts didn't exist then, even for the figures. Like that whole era kind of ushered that all in.
It was like a piece by piece.
Yeah,
like
these guys owned everything.
Yeah, Jeremy Padauer made the Legends deals. But my thing is, I don't get how WWFE didn't own any of these names. That's what's mind-blowing to me.
I don't know.
If you go through
think
that
about
roster,
it now.
It is.
Look at Billy Gunn.
It's a stacked roster.
Billy Gunn has 2 figures out right now from 2 different companies. Jake the Snake, same thing. I don't know actually if that one's coming, but maybe.
There was a point though, I think.
Yes.
Andre the Giant. He's got stuff out everywhere. Macho Man, he's licensed out to anyone who wants it.
But that I don't know. That's why this game very much confuses me. Weimer had it. I did not own it because I thought it was a rip-off game, and I didn't want to support it. I didn't want to.
But then you're getting 3 versions or 4 versions of Warrior.
Yeah. I hate
Let's
the
go
yellow
through 'em.
gear. I always hated the yellow gear.
So what do you think of USA Warrior?
A USA Warrior isn't even top 10 Warrior, probably to me.
Okay.
I just, but man, seeing him represented in this game is great. It's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, he was not in the first two. And this, I think, Showdown was where they like buckled down. They brought in Sting. Like there was a lot of names here that weren't in the previous two games.
Yep.
RVD, Sabu.
Yeah. Yep. And you could do like an
Then you
extreme
got-
rules match kind of thing.
Yep. You got the little what would you call that? Peach gear, orange gear,
It's orange,
peach
yeah, it's
Orange.
with the tattoo on his chest. You got
That
the
was
green gear,
WrestleMania-
like
that was WrestleMania 6.
okay, which I think that arena might be a rip-off arena in there as well. You got the green with the pink, like we
I
saw
call
in
the green gear his WWF
WrestleFest.
Superstars gear. So that's like
There you go.
That was always his other. That's his most known gear besides the WrestleMania 6 gear.
Yeah, and then the yellow, like you said, which
Yellow would have been
it was so
WrestleMania
cool
5.
that
Ryan and I just
Damn.
played this version in 2K24 against Rick Rude.
all right. But now you were talking about Legends of WrestleMania, a game I didn't own, but me and George played this year.
What a
Yep.
game! I love it. I love this game.
You love it. I think it got a double future by us.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us liked it.
I haven't played it since it came out. I loved this game because it was such a throwback and it felt like a throwback and it never like no 2K game really had that feeling. I loved it. But you guys-
Interesting. I wonder if you went back and you played this now, what you would think.
Well, here's
This
the
was
thing.
a big yeah.
At that point, no game really had a nostalgia feel, no 2K game or whatever. You know what I mean? So this was the first time you really had that kind of nostalgia roster and look, feel to it. That's why I really, really liked it.
Now this came out this was 2009.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this comes out.
So
it's the same as SmackDown versus Raw.
Right.
07?
I misspoke there.
Or 08?
Because I remember the build up to Warrior making the return for 2K14, which we're about to talk about. But I forgot that he was involved in this in the same peach gear, whatever we were talking about from what was that, WrestleMania 6, you said?
Yep.
Was that Hogan?
Yep.
Okay. And then he's in the same in WWE All-Stars and the red, white, and blue as well.
So yeah, then WWE All Stars was the first like arcade game, and I loved.
That was 2011. So there was like a 2-year gap between even that.
I loved WWF All Stars. It was the first game like Landon and I really played together. I remember.
That's like the perfect game for that.
We even played that early on in the life of the podcast too. That was like one of the first games we did.
And it's fun, man. Like I remember, like there was a lot of cool legends in it, but then there was a lot of cool like random roster people that I don't know if they should have made the cut. Like a Kofi at that time, a Morrison at that time, a Drew McIntyre at that time, I believe.
Right.
Like a lot of guys that, and then they gave them these crazy finishers, like throwing guys up, and Sheamus would throw them up in the air for the power bomb so high. It was just, I loved it. I
love the storyline part of those of the All-Star games. They were so like it was kind of like what we talked about last week, Clash, where it's just like they're doing the cutscenes and there's the voice lines and everything, but it's all within the graphic style of the game itself. Which
I loved this, man. I loved this game.
So cool.
It was fun, and it was like it wasn't your typical 2K game, which could at times is fucking hard. It's hard, and this one was like. It was the ultimate button masher, but then it also took some skill to it. I love this game. I would like to. This is a game I would like to actually play again sometime, just to get into it. And I like this one.
I would love to play this, but get the joystick controller.
I have it in my
play
bag.
it on that.
Oh,
so cool!
You have the joystick for All Stars?
I might have, to be honest. I had it forever. I might have finally thrown it out, like last year when I went through my basement. I'll look. Why is it going for a lot of money?
No, it's just cool.
Hard to find though.
Yeah, I think it's a cool collection piece. So that All Stars,
I bet we threw it out.
My trading post had one left, and I was thinking about going back for it, and I said it out loud at Creator Pro, and the sweeper said, "I bought that last week." So
Did we throw out the All-Stars gamepad? We did, right?
So All Stars comes out in 2011,
Yeah.
and it's in the same world as. So this is THQ. This isn't even 2K. This is SmackDown vs. Raw era of wrestling games, which I just think is such a time capsule of like control schemes and animation styles, and it's such an important part of wrestling video game history that there are so many animations that are from that series of games that were then recreated for the 2K series now, because they're so, I don't know if iconic is the best word, but they're such a good representation of the moves themselves that it's like, that mocap was great. Can we just do that mocap again?
it was really cool. And like Dylan said, we didn't have anything like that at the time.
Yeah.
So but then we jump WWE 2K14 Warriors
Like,
back. We all saw that commercial.
Seeing this photo is very like, it just gave me a really weird feeling, and I don't know why.
Well, we all know why, because we all know what happened very shortly after this, after the Hall of Fame. This was such a big deal that he was back after the whole.
This is the first thing he did.
Yeah, the commercial where he's got
the commercial,
cocaine.
Being on the screen. This was the very first appearance of Ultimate Warrior back with WWE, which is
After they put out that
mind-blowing.
DVD and stuff. And this is a One Warrior Nation jacket, right? This is WCW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. I guess he grabbed whatever he could at that point.
No,
But
I bet he
let's
had,
get
I bet he had this made for that.
Really?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Could be. You never know. But then in 14, there are, of course, different styles. But Warrior, the big
WrestleMania
poofy
6.
hair.
Like always.
What's that?
Of course, WrestleMania 6, like always.
Yeah, once we start getting into these 2K games, some of them are going to have an absurd amount of costumes and gear. We can't obviously talk about every single one of them.
But you know what?
we will-
It's always going to be WrestleMania 6. Guys, I
was going to say, that's the one that's the most prominent.
WrestleMania 6 is the WrestleMania that got me into wrestling. But can
I
we
have to
stop
do
with
a
that
side-by-side
with
now.
figures? Can we stop with the figures of it? Like, and that, like,
Wrong show.
I say that's we don't do that.
understand
here.
that, but I was taking a breath. Can we? That shouldn't be like in the images and the likenesses of him. That shouldn't be the one that's always used, because he has so many. But it's always.
Is there one that isn't represented that you think should be?
Yes, there's one. He has a figure of it. He has the faces. I believe it's blue and green and white gear, and he has the faces on the knee pads, and that. And there's that one, and then there's the gear he got put in the casket in. That's really, really scared me for a long time. Yep.
Yeah, that could be cool. I guess they don't do those like deep cuts, but we have casket matches now, so maybe next year.
Oh, yeah, that gear is cool.
But
Let's talk about Supercard.
So one of my students just asked me for my code from 2K for his Supercard. I said, "You're still hanging on?" Because yes, Jesus, I was a day one-ish Supercard guy.
Yeah,
I held on.
I think I was too.
Years.
Same.
Then Weimer held on for like 2 years after me. He had like a clan and everything of people that he met through Supercard that he didn't know. Like, I was like, "Here, Jesus." I liked Supercard, but it got too expansive. It got to be too much.
Still going strong though.
It's
I got to the
insane.
point where I didn't know what to click on the main screen.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I just didn't know. But we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like 22, oh my God, even more, like 30 versions of Warrior, and there are still about 7 legacy cards still out there. So pretty crazy, and they're all very nice, very detailed. We always say about Supercard.
They nail it.
They nail it. The card variants are
looking at the
very
legacy
cool. They're not
cards,
just
that was my era up until that bottom yellow one. That's as far as I got in Supercard.
Okay. Okay.
Once they start getting into like the thousands and the 400s, that's when like I was out.
I was way out.
Yeah.
I guess they just nerfed it, and they just down, or they're going to, or they lowered everything down, so it wasn't so crazy anymore.
Thank God. I don't know. I always think like I should really every time 2K comes out, I'm like I should get back into it, and then I don't. And now it's too late, so I'm probably never gonna.
Wait.
But
we got to play for the pod.
We will. All right, 2K15. You got the 2K showcase with the Path of the Warrior pack included with 6 attires. You have WrestleMania 12, WrestleMania 6, SummerSlam 1990. WrestleMania 7, WWE Live 1991, and SummerSlam 91. That is a lot of Warrior in one game.
Yeah.
Love it. It's never enough. Never enough.
No, I'm looking
man,
at these.
Including WrestleMania 12, like for the first time, I believe, if you look back, I loved it. WrestleMania 12 is such an iconic look for me. Again, it's like holds a special place in my heart because that was his comeback. So for them to include it in this game is always awesome.
Was that the one he buried Triple H?
Can we talk about... No, he beat Triple H, thank you. He didn't bury him, he beat him. Can we talk about how Ultimate Warrior, his animation, his entrance animation, because that's all I really care about, it's never came off real. Like his run is always awkward. His shaking of the ropes is always
because if he ran at the speed that the Warrior ran, his entrance would be 15 seconds.
Great.
Like he ran as fast as he could to the ring.
Why are we not making
like
why are we not doing it that? And then the shaking of the ropes always comes off like he's humping the rope in the games. It's always very weird to me.
I feel like maybe they slowed it down, or maybe there's. I'm going to try to apply logic to this, and I can't really. I want to say that there's some kind of limit with like the different arena sizes and the ramp sizes and things like that, because they're not always the same. Some events had longer ramps than other ones in the game. So it's like, if you give them one speed, I don't know. It may be that. It may just be that they just wanted to slow it down and they didn't get it correctly.
I've never liked his entrances in any game.
They just use the Irish whip speed.
Yeah. Think of create an entrance, though. Everything's so segmented that everything has to fit within those segments. So
yeah,
it's probably cut to that. But
think of cool. whose entrance was always oddly, was it Sin Cara in like the old SmackDown vs. Raw games where like you would have to do, or not SmackDown vs. Raw, it was the WWE year games where it would be. You could select like the last part with the trampoline into the ring, but it was always pieced together and every section was cut at a different camera angle.
Yeah.
So could be something like that.
That was such a cool entrance.
I have never heard
of about it.
This next one in my life.
All right. WWE Immortals. It was a mobile game. It didn't last very long, but in here you have arena and jungle versions of the Warrior. So it was pretty much an over-the-top Mortal Kombat mobile game where you just kind of swipe a lot. That's really all it was.
It was like if they took one of those exaggerated figure lines and made it into a video game.
No recollection of it.
Yeah, no. It's not worth remembering, honestly. But then 2K16, we are back. You kind of have the same attires here. You have WrestleMania 12, 6, like SummerSlam always. 90, WrestleMania 7, Live 91, and SummerSlam 88. This was a big one. This was a big game. This was the Stone Cold cover.
I would say we played this game a lot, Clash.
Do you really?
Yeah. We did back when we started.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
But I feel like getting into these 2K games, especially when you get to 16, I would say until 19, they're all going to look very similar. There's not going to be any differences here.
All you're doing is you're changing the roster at this point.
His hair is a little less poofy in this one, I'll say. Because, oh boy, 14, when he comes out, that poofy thing is like a lion's mane.
Yep, I was just going to say like a lion's mane.
Oh my God. But have you played WWE Champions, the mobile game?
Is this the tap one?
That would be Tap Mania.
This is the one that's kind of like Candy Crush.
But is this the first tap one? Because I've played it.
No, this one's like Candy Crush.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, like the bottom is that and the top is the moves.
Yep, I liked that.
Pretty cool.
I remember this.
Couple versions of Warrior here. You have the Hall of Fame gold version.
As Warrior ever.
No, I would think he wasn't easy to get, or you had to pay for him because there's the
you
Hall
probably
of
had to
Fame
buy him.
version. There's that WrestleMania 6 version you like, but then there's also
No, that's not WrestleMania
Is that-
6. That's
think
his
it's a
neon.
dumbed down.
That's his graffiti gear. Oh, on the top one.
Top left, right?
What that top one is? That's like the figure they put out. They put out a figure. Mattel put out a figure of that, and it was one of their lines. One of their, like, I forget what it's even called, Battle or something. But they all there's the He-Man line. That's the He-Man figure, I think.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you're right. Same accessories and everything.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting. I
And
wonder
do
if
I
everyone got
recognize
one of
that?
those. But then you were talking about the graffiti down below the blue
Yeah.
and pink
Yep.
and green.
Yep. And then the
And what-
SummerSlam or WrestleMania 5, I forget, gear.
Yeah, pretty cool. Champions was always a good one. It had those like cartoony graphics, but you didn't
That's why I
care. It
liked
was
it.
just
Yeah,
It was
it's
just-
good representations of the wrestlers. It was accurate while still being cartoony and not either
Yep.
too much or not enough. Like it for the style that they used, it was like the right amount of their influence with the wrestler's likeness.
But now let's talk about 2K17. This is new gear for the 2K series, I believe. What is this one here? This is kind of cool.
I love the neon. My other favorite gears is the neon one in the bottom picture, where it's the
neon logos,
almost like
yeah.
it's like his entrance laser lights that would come out
Mm-hmm.
on the floor. I always liked that gear a lot.
What's the top one from?
I don't recognize
like the airbrush.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, it has
The RVD
tights
singlet.
and then his face on the knee pads, but again, that's not the casket one that I'm thinking of. I'm almost positive. I
That
don't
was
know what
pretty
that
cool,
gear
though.
would be.
it looks
then-
like purple and gold, purple, pink, and gold.
Yeah, but I don't recognize the boots and the knee pads at all.
We'll have to dig deeper. But then we got Tap Mania, as you were talking about.
I've never
where
heard
we
of this
have-
game in my life.
It's just tapping. It was not good. Not very good at all. It was like a big rumble of just tapping. And that was
Why is
literally
Triple H
the-
so big and Baltimore is small?
Have you met the guy? He's still bitter about WrestleMania 12.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've never heard of this game in my life.
Short-lived mobile game. This is the only photo I could find of Warrior in this game where he's pretty much in his old school style, typical
Once again,
Warrior
WWF
green.
Superstars gear.
Yeah, that's it. And then guess what he's wearing in WWE Mayhem, the mobile game.
Not only is it the WWF Superstars gear, but then you have SummerSlam. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's not his SummerSlam 88
No, it's
gear.
not.
But that is, however, the poster they put out.
That is this. He wore a singlet at SummerSlam '92 against Macho.
Let's see, is it the same one? Yeah,
No, that was the bodysuit, I believe. But this is the game I remember.
yeah,
This
body.
Yeah, this was another game. Landon and I played Mayhem a lot. I remember.
We just played this a couple weeks ago.
Still
fun.
going.
I liked it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I put a lot of hours in on this one.
Well, don't ever uninstall the game because if you don't have it backed up, you will lose everything like George did.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll have to look at if I log back on if I have anything.
His game wasn't loading, so he did an uninstall, reinstall, and he was right back in the beginning,
And
which
it was just like,
terrible.
welcome to the tutorial. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Is that Kurt
But
Hawkins
then-
in this next one?
It is WWE Universe again. The only picture of Warrior I could find in this game. Another short-lived mobile game. It was
This
just
is different gear though. I will say more of that
Different gear, at least.
that airbrush gear I like.
also very good graphics for a mobile game.
Unbelievable.
I've
Yeah,
never
it looks
heard
like
of
it
this one
could
in
be
my
a
life.
2K game. It didn't last very long, like most of their mobile games.
I need to
It's
ask
the
Hawkins
same
what
thing.
his payday was on this.
There's no way he even knows this exists.
Yeah,
No.
I would be. You could send him this picture and ask him what game this is from. I guarantee
Clash,
he would
that's your
just.
homework for tonight. You need to send
I
him
will
this and
ask-
go, what do you
He's
know?
going to
about
do it right
WWE?
now.
I will ask him right now. What do you want to know?
What do you know about WWE Universe? And what was your payday?
It's your payday, asked Dylan.
I've never heard of that. How the fuck did he make that game?
He was on the commercial too. That's how I remembered this.
Really?
Yeah. This was his return gear, the Xbox gear.
Talking about his
Brett
butt gear.
Yeah. But all right, we're now up to 2K18. Again, everything's going to feel very similar here. New gear. We're not going to go through them all because they're all...
That's different gear. I don't know what gear that would be. It's another deep dive. I don't know the one that one would be.
It looks cool. They got to keep changing it up. They can't give you the same thing every year. They will for certain other people, but
I'll say I'm sure they've got reference photos from the house shows or whatever that they're like, all right, this was different gear.
I would bet in that game, WrestleMania 6 and WWF Superstars Green gear are in that as well.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I feel like there's always like one or two iconic Warrior gears you have to have.
Yeah. Now this next one, WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, the re-release.
This was the plug and play, right?
Yeah, they excluded Hogan and put Warrior in its place, who was not in the original. Now, Dylan, do you want to hear a George story?
We've told him this story before.
No. This is the time to tell it again. And this is my perspective. Me and George go to the mall. Yes, the mall, which
is a dated sentence in itself.
2 blocks away from my house now. It doesn't exist anymore, this mall. There was a store called Video Game Trading Post we wanted to check out. They have vintage games. We mentioned it before. They had the All-Stars controller. My wife comes with me. She goes shopping in Macy's. It's around Christmas time. She goes to George. She comes to him with a bag and goes, "Hey, does he have this already?" Now I'm watching this interaction. I'm watching it. George beats around the bush. He doesn't straight up say no. He just goes, "Oh, well, we got a podcast and bibbidi-boobidi." And now she gives me this plug and play on Christmas and goes, "You have this, don't you?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "George didn't tell me that." So this was one of the first giveaways we gave away on the podcast because I had 2 of them.
I wasn't as vague as John's making me describe.
100% that vague.
I would bet.
Well, I don't know.
I would 100% believe that.
But if you ask me how many times I've actually played this plug and play, probably once when I got it, and that was it.
Yeah.
They are on all of your Macy's backstage shelves now for probably $4.99. Yep. But all right, maybe for a while, the last good version of the Warrior is 2K19.
Man, you ain't kidding.
Because 2K20 is next.
What?
We all know
Landon,
about 2K20.
My 14-year-old son hates 2K20. When a kid who, this was video game time for him, hates a game.
Sounds like a smart kid.
And he was 10 then.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Sounds like a smart kid.
It was
you feel like we don't have to go in. So bugged.
Yeah, it was bugged. They we know more about it now and why the issues were had with the game, but at the time they were so vague about everything that was going on and just pretended like it was fine and we'll release a patch and it'll fix it. And then things were still wrong and people's hair,
everyone's face was puffy and
or you would go into make an outfit and there was that screenshot of Becky Lynch's face and it looked like she was doing the thing from Men in Black.
Yep. The Ninja Turtle figures that you press the back of their head and eyes pop up. But we'll forget about 20.
That's the USA gear, which I guarantee was an alternate, but I don't like the USA gear, so for them to pick that one was always like, ugh.
That's so 2K20.
I didn't like it. But even in 19, but then 19 it's the same way.
They tried to match 19 as best as they could without being 19 when 19 was a pretty damn good game. So
I remember that one.
Yeah,
I don't remember this or have never heard of this one.
This is WWE Undefeated. We played this only a few weeks ago. Another mobile game. Not a terrible game. Also very swipey and the meter fills and you got to press your finishers on the bottom. None of these
There's
games.
only so much you can do in these.
Yeah, none of them last
fighter
a while.
Mobile games.
They get their money from you and they move on to the next game to get your money from you on that one. Warrior's featured. He looks like an action figure. He looks cool. But then we get WWE Battlegrounds.
Again, I have this actually, you know what? This was the game Landon and I really, because he was older then. This was the game we really connected over. Finally, because it was pick up and play. I loved this game. I loved Battlegrounds.
You played this game on stream so much.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yep, I remember that. And I liked it a lot because it wasn't hard. If we're being like, you could pick up and play. And it was just fun. There wasn't there an arena where there was like a rhino or something like that would.
It was a goat. You
was a
play
goat.
a fight at the swamp, and there was a goat.
That's what it was. There was alligators too, or something. As well.
Alligators.
But I loved this game. I really, really loved this game. Shocking.
Was it the Bayou? Is that what it was called?
WWF Superstars Warrior again, the same as always. But I really, really liked this.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Really wasn't bad for an alternate. I have a theory about this game because the first screenshots they showed had the old WWE logo, like the scratch logo.
Yeah.
I had a feeling they held it in their back pocket, and then once 2K20 flopped, they pulled the trigger.
I think so too, because they needed something to like, again, a placeholder kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember when this came out, I ran to the store to get it and was so excited to play it. And it was just, it didn't have as long of a shelf life as I had hoped that it would.
This is one of the first games I bought digital and said, screw the disc on. And I think I never went back.
Yeah.
You're still only digital?
I mean, my Xbox is only digital and I have a PC, so yes.
I was going to ask Dylan, you have any, are you mostly digital or you collect any video games?
I don't collect them.
Aside from the arcade cabinet.
My reasoning for doing real like physicals is trade-in. Obviously, they're not worth anything.
No.
But so if I do buy a game, it usually is that. But I'm slowly, I think if I do one game every 2 years physical, I'm shocked now. I'm a Game Pass guy though, man. Like
oh yeah.
Man,
MLB came out yesterday.
If you don't have Game Pass, you're a crazy person.
100%. MLB came out yesterday. I could just play it. I don't even have to download it. It's on the cloud. I could just go in and
I don't know what the cloud is.
You don't have to download the game. It's on the Xbox cloud. You literally just
you're talking about a
dummy conversation. Okay, yeah. Anyway,
what's it like to be George?
What's it like to be George? Yeah. 2K22, we're winding down here. You got some cool Warrior looks. They included just
the same shit, but then you have the cool neon gear that I like.
But some of these were only locked in my faction as well, and you can't play as them. Same as 2K23.
Can we? Oh, sorry. Yep. So let's go. Also, Ray on the cover of 2K22, even at that time, I was like blown away by. I was like, this is very weird because he wasn't a big deal then. You know what I mean?
Hall of Fame.
Him to make the cover, I was like, oh, this is kind of odd. It's cool, and I'm very, very happy for him because it's not the same old shit. But it was kind of odd to me.
No, I'm with what Clash said. It's Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, but then you also get the NWO cover. There were a few different ones here. When was he Hall of Fame?
Like last year.
This was like the beginning of his run, though, where he came back. He goes in the Hall of Fame in, 23?
Which would have been 24.
So like a year and a half later?
Yeah, but there's a cover I would have been way before he would have even been thought of for Hall of Fame.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, but I would imagine that they plan this stuff out.
I'm saying it's
so far in advance. Like it's
the beginning of like the run that led to the Hall of Fame. Like he's back now full time.
Correct. I'm saying, but even when he first came back, he wasn't a top guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like doing stuff with Dominic and all that. Oh, yeah, pretty cool though. I mean, who doesn't love Ray? Who doesn't love Ray?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that was what I was going to say. Like, it's not even about where he was at the time. He had come back to the WWE, and it's like, great, Rey Mysterio's back.
That.
Let's talk about everything that he has done over his entire career.
Like, wait, it's not Hogan? All right.
I was saying it was weird to me because their cover guys are always one of the top 5. You know what I mean? That's why it was odd to me.
Yeah.
Can we talk about 2K23?
Your other friend John on the cover,
My buddy. Why does he look so funny in the bottom picture?
he's a funny looking guy.
Like-
you have to remember these pictures I have are screenshots.
Oh, okay. Because he looks
Everything
very
is-
odd. He looks very odd
It's-
in that bottom picture.
I believe that was like gameplay footage that I cropped and had to blow up. So it's a little
Because his hair looks odd and but man, this is where you start getting into good games. I loved 2K23. I loved it.
We just
This is the thing.
covered it. Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
This is the thing that, we touched upon it earlier in the episode, but I always feel like the number one thing that's so hard to nail with, a lot of the wrestlers, but especially with Warrior, is the hair.
Yes, because it either is lying or it looks glued down.
And you don't think about what an important element of his look it is until it's wrong, and you go, "That doesn't look anything like
There's been
Warrior."
a lot of times.
Yeah, it
where
looks
it's
like
been
Karen.
Very wrong.
Yeah. But I think 24 is special for a few reasons. Now, the first being you have Warrior. Here's WrestleMania 6. But the face paint fades during
it.
the match.
I
So
love
good.
it.
What a
So
cool
good.
feature. Even if you create a wrestler, if you create Sting right now,
Yep.
the face paint's going away.
So cool.
So we're on WrestleMania
Oh.
6 right now. We're gonna play 2 matches each tonight, and the first one is WrestleMania 6, and I get it because I did WrestleMania. I did the Rude match because we switch off. Landon and I switch off matches, and
That was the next one I was going to bring up.
what was crazy to me is the WrestleMania 5 one underneath with Rude was you played as Rude, which was very weird to me because I was like, man, I've never played as Rick Rude in this ever, but he wins the match, so it was a kind of a cool thing. But so then tonight after we record here, we're gonna do WrestleMania 6, and then the next 4 showcases. It is such an impressive game. I still have to. I was talking to George about this yesterday. I hate that there's no limits to reversals like there used to be. It used to be, I think you had five or 6, I forget maybe, but and then you could re-get them, but now it's just too much. It's too much of it, and I get there's a stamina bar, or you can turn them like the pop up off. I don't care for it. It's too much back and forth, but the game visually is absolutely incredible.
I agree, especially against a human player. It's just so difficult.
It's oh my god. It's a when two people have a really good understanding of the mechanics of this game,
Landon kills me.
it goes forever.
Landon kills me in it because he played so much 23, and now this, it's like, man, I'm done. It's the first game, the first time I've felt like I'm less than my son in a wrestling game.
It's only going to happen more and more.
exactly.
We're on the downward trajectory for.
All right, so let's talk about what games Warrior's been on the cover for here. We kind of covered his whole history. WrestleMania Challenge.
I remember
Superstars.
That one the WrestleMania
That
Challenge,
picture,
obviously, I remember because that was the first one. Superstars, I didn't have. I was talking about I didn't have. Stupid cheek. So WrestleMania Challenge is the WWF Superstars gear. The green cheek paint warrior is WWF
Superstars for the Game Boy.
which was just Game Boy. I have no recollection of that game really. I remember seeing it on the shelves, but never having it.
Now, the European
Revenge,
Rampage store. It's
Oof.
very
European
contrasting.
Rampage, sorry, is I hated that look, and that was the first time when the rumors came out that it was a different warrior.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh yeah.
that, and then the mullet, the skinny mullet hair warrior in the green.
Uh-huh. Then you have Showdown Legends of Wrestling.
I still
How
can't
you feel
believe
about
this
that?
game exists. I can't. I really can't. It's so weird to me.
But then you have All Stars with a nice collar and elbow tie up with Randy Orton.
I love it. That game,
Pretty
man,
cool.
That game is it like I say, it holds a special place in my heart because it's so different for what they were doing at the time.
And you had your guy in it.
My guy was in it.
Now, everyone go around. Give me your least favorite version and your favorite version of the Ultimate Warrior in wrestling games.
Favorite? I think I'm going 2K16.
Interesting.
I'm scrolling right now.
I think I'm going Superstars for my favorite.
Oh.
Like the very first one? You love that. Why do you love that one so much?
I don't know. It just looks really cool.
I'm going to go WrestleFest. No.
I mean, also...
Nope. I'm changing it. Where was it? Hold on. Changing it. Where the fuck is it? Where's All... Oh, there it is.
We got time.
No, it's All Stars.
Okay.
All right. And everyone's least
very close though.
It's definitely up there. Yeah.
And everyone's least favorite.
Super WrestleMania.
Ooh.
I don't know who that guy is, but it's not Warrior.
WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking
the Renegade.
I was thinking that's a tough call. I was going to do that or either Legends of WrestleMania with the Lions Mane.
Yeah,
it's not that
the Lions
bad,
Mane made its versions in the WWE games.
Yeah.
Like he had the crappy
in 14
Lions
too, yeah.
In some of like the recent games. Look at 2K15, that second shot. That's
no,
bad.
I think what'd you say? Super WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, I don't think there's
for
any
me for sure.
Oh yeah, when you compare them, it looks nothing like him.
Now I messaged Dylan earlier, I think yesterday, and I said I could have sworn that Warrior was in like Thunder or Nitro, one of those, but he was not.
Nope.
I think I was thinking of Nitro where you have Hulkster, Stinger, and Red and Yellow Macho Man. And for some reason, I was like lumping him in with that group, but yeah, he wasn't in any WCW games.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But hey, that's the video game history of the Ultimate Warrior. George, do you want to know what we're playing next week?
John, what are we playing next week?
We are playing...
I would like a detailed description of what we are playing next week.
I have one requirement when we record this episode. We are playing Jelly Wrestle on Steam. And we're both going to paint our faces like Jelly Roll.
I think that's a good idea for both of you.
George, it's like,
if this was going postal, I would want Dylan to throw up the thumbs up and say thanks. Like that's how we would end the episode.
We don't have to do it. It's optional, but that's what we're playing. Jelly Wrestle on Steam. I was going real deep in our list to see what ridiculous game we could play, and this is what I came up with.
Ridiculous is on the nose.
Yeah. It's just some flimsy looking wrestlers that wrestle. They're literally made of jelly, and we're gonna try it out and see how we like it.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. And as always, guys, let me remind you all, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast for our weekly playthrough videos and a whole lot more. GameMarksPod.com/shop for all of our exclusive merchandise. ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod for all of our shirts. Patreon.com/GameMarksPod for this show early and ad-free access to show notes. And you could be a part of the live recordings. You could have been in this chat with the three of us doing the video game history of the Ultimate Warrior at GameMarksPod on all forms of social media. And please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell.
That's what the fuck that was the whole time?
Yep. And leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you choose to listen. And if you have a product or service that you would like to advertise on this podcast, please reach out to us at GameMarksPod@gmail.com. Dylan, do you want to do your plugs? Do you want me to do your plugs?
At Dylan Postel on all forms of social.
You got hair plugs?
You're a piece of shit.
I have the bald figure. You want me to get it?
No. ProWrestlingTees.com/Swoggle, YouTube.com/Dylan Postel. the Going Postal podcast, where this week I just had Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, on the show. Yeah, check it out. Guys, this has been Dylan, that's George, that's Clash. Ultimate Warrior in wrestling video games, we play forever. We're not game overing.
John, do that thing.
Game over, Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.
Guys, if you want your beard to be soft and smell great, then you need Mad Cat Beard Care. Their products are all natural and made to order with vitamins and natural oils to moisturize your skin and to help make your beard healthy and strong.
Our exclusive scent, Play It Forever, is a blood orange, black clove, and vanilla scented beard balm or beard oil that can make your beard have a rich but not overpowering scent. Plus, a portion from their sales go towards finding care for stray cats, covering their medical bills and finding them safe places and forever homes.
Use code GameMarks to save yourself 15% when you place an order over at madcatbeardcare.com. That's 15% off with code GameMarks. And remember, the Mad Cat makes a happy beard.